scenes have been placed in sequence will be made manifest in the viewing of them. All needless matters have been eliminated, so that a history almost at variance with possibilities of later-day belief may stand forth as simple fact. There is throughout no statement of past things wherein memory may err, for all the events chosen are exactly contemporary, given from the standpoints and within the range of knowledge of those who made them.
The Diary of Jonathan Harker, May 5th. And so I'm safely arrived at Castle Dracula. The Count has been most considerate, though the house is a bit odd. My journey has been long, though not unpleasant. The circumstances of the last part were rather strange. I arrived at the inn in Bidstris late last night, where a note from the Count was waiting for me. I have placed the note on the facing page of this entry. My friend, welcome to Transylvania. I am anxiously expecting you. Sleep well tonight. At 3 tomorrow, the stagecoach will start for my castle. I trust that your journey from London has been a happy one and that you will enjoy your stay in my beautiful land. Your friend, Dracula. When I boarded the coach this afternoon, I looked at the innkeeper as he spoke to the driver. His eyes seemed to be flitting from the driver to myself, sitting inside the coach. I then realized that they must have been discussing me. I was an ignorant foreigner here in their country, and I knew that they all thought that I was funny, but their expressions were grave, and they crossed themselves repeatedly after looking my way. The old woman sitting in the coach across from me gave me this rosary for my protection. I had dismissed this as a custom here. In my past experience as a solicitor, I have never found helping a man to secure a house to be a dangerous occupation. This must have been a foolish superstition, as Dracula does not seem to be the bad sort of fellow, and the country is most beautiful.
Mr. Harker?
Count.
I hope you're settling in comfortably.
Yes, quite. Your home is very interesting.
Yes, some people may find it strange, but my people have lived here for centuries. You see, I come from a great old family, Mr. Harker. What witch or devil was ever so great is that of Attila, whose blood courses in his veins.
Yes.
Yes. My family has lived here for generations. It would be neither desirable nor practical to make any changes to the old castle now.
Quite.
I understand you have a list of English houses to show me. May I see them?
Of course.
Ah, excellent.
As requested, all of these estates are in London or Exeter.
Excellent.
I put the nicest ones first. Those should be the easiest to secure, and you should be able to adjust to them with minimal inconvenience.
Tell me about this one here.
Carfax Abbey, undoubtedly the oldest of all of the houses I have selected for you. The building is in need of extensive repairs.
I shall take it.
But surely one of the other houses.
Oh, no, Mr. Harker. As I said before, I come from an old family. I would not feel at all comfortable living in a new house. Besides, I think Carfax Abbey is perfectly suitable for my needs.
And I shall secure it for you immediately.
Oh, that can wait until tomorrow. For now, let us speak of England.
As you wish, Count. I was wondering, Count Dracula, how is it that you speak English so thoroughly?
Well, I learned from books, mainly. I've studied your beautiful land for many years in hopes of being able to go there one day myself. You see, it has been my main occupation for much of my recent life.
But you speak it so thoroughly.
Why, thank you, my friend, for your all-too-kind estimate, but I am afraid I am but a little ways on the road I would travel. True, I know the grammar and the words, but I do not yet know how to speak them.
You speak excellent.
Too kind, too kind. But I would want to go to England and have none there think me a stranger.
Indeed. And now, why have you not visited?
Oh, well, such a journey requires extensive preparations.
Yes, and now you have completed those preparations.
Almost. Listen to them. Children of the night, what music they make. Forgive me, Mr. Harker. I shan't keep you awake any longer. No doubt you wish to rest and recover from your journey.
Yes.
I just remembered I have to go out tomorrow morning. I shan't be back before sundown. I hope that you will make yourself quite at home here. You are free to go about the castle and go into any rooms that you like, save the ones that are locked.
I thank you, Count Dracula.
Until tomorrow evening, then, Mr. Harker.
Yes. Twelfth of May. What I have seen is hard to describe. Let me begin with facts. Bare, meager facts. When the Count returned, I asked him about my locked door, and he said that it was merely a precaution. He said,
Should you leave these rooms, you must not for any reason go to sleep in another part of the castle. It is old and has many memories, and there are bad dreams for those who would sleep unwisely. Be warned. Should sleep overcome you, or be like to do, hasten to your own chamber, and you will be saved. But if not, then...
My only doubt is whether any dream could be more terrible than the unnatural, horrible net of fear closing in around me. When he had left me, I went to the window and I looked out into the vast expanse, and I hoped to find some freedom in it. There was peace and comfort in every breath that I drew, but as I leaned from the window, my eye was caught by something moving a story below me. What I saw was the Count's head coming out of a lower window. At first I was interested. It's wonderful how small a thing will amuse a prisoner, but my feelings changed to horror when I saw the entire person of the Count slowly emerge face down, with his cloak spread round him like great wings. What manner of man or creature is this? I feel the dread of this horrible place overwhelming me. I dare not think.
Go on. You are first, and we shall follow. Yours is the right to begin.
He is young and strong. There's plenty for us all.
Very well, sisters. I shall claim my right.
How dare you touch him? How dare you cast eyes on him when I forbid it? Back away, all of you! This man is mine. Be careful how you meddle with him, or you'll have me to contend with.
You yourself never love.
You never love.
Yes, I too can love. You all know it from my past. But this man is important to me. Now, when I have done with him, you may kiss him at your pleasure, not before. Well, there is work to be done, out of my sight.
Are we to have nothing tonight?
Strange dreams. These may be the last words I ever write in this diary. My brain seems to be on fire. I have had strange visions. Those women that I see, they're like nothing I've ever encountered. Mine own Mina is a woman, and there is naught in common. And I hear sounds of many trampling feet and the crash of great weights being set down heavily. I hear the hammering of boxes, of chains rattling. I hear these things, and I believe that my own grave is coming to meet me in this very room. God's mercy is better than that of these monsters. The precipice is steep and high. At its foot, a man may die as a man, not as a monster.
My dearest Lucy, forgive my long delay in writing. I have been simply overwhelmed with work. But I know this training will be worth it if I can assist Jonathan as his clerk once I am Mrs. Harker. He and I often exchange letters in shorthand, and I know that he is keeping a shorthand journal of his travels abroad. When I join you in Exeter, I think I shall keep a diary in the same way. But I'll tell you all of my little plans when I see you next. I have had only a few hurried lines from Jonathan in Transylvania. I hope he is still well. Must be nice to see and explore strange countries. Tell me all the news when you write. I have heard rumors, especially about a tall, handsome, dark-haired man. Your loving, Mina.
Dearest Mina, thanks and thanks again for your sweet letter. It never rains, but oh, it pours. Here I am, nearly 20, and yet never had a proposal till today, and today I've had 3. Just fancy. Oh, but isn't it awful? I feel so dreadfully sorry for 2 of the poor gentlemen. The first was a man whom I really thought would do for you, dear, if you weren't already engaged to Jonathan. Dr. Seward. He isn't the kind of doctor you would go to if you were physically ill, but he runs an asylum not far from here. It broke my heart to send him away. He's intelligent and good-natured, and he has been so kind to me.
Miss Westenra, Lucy, you must know how dear you are to me, though we have known each other for so little a time. Never before in my life have I found someone who I know could help me and make me happy for the rest of my days. Would you do me the honor of... I see. Don't suppose there's any hope that you could learn to love me in time?
My friend, I wish there were, but I'm afraid not.
Ah, there is someone else.
I'm afraid so, Doctor.
Well, then I wish for all the happiness that life can bring to you and this fortunate fellow. And if you are ever in need of a friend, you can count me one of the best.
Thank you, Doctor. He has been such a good friend to me and Mother, especially while she's been ill and gets so few visitors. Being proposed to is very nice and all, but it isn't at all nice when you have to see the poor fellow, whom you know loves you honestly, going away looking so broken-hearted. Proposal number 2 came after lunch. He is just as kind of a man and an American from Texas, Mr. Quincy Morris. He found out it amuses me when he uses American slang, so his proposal was filled with it.
Miss Lucy, I know I ain't good enough to regulate the fixings of your shoes, but I suppose if you wait till you find a man that is, you'll be up with the angels when you quit. Won't you just hitch up alongside me, and we can ride down this lawn road together, driving in double harness?
I'm afraid I don't know anything of hitching, and I'm not broken into harness yet.
I apologize, Miss Lucy. I was only speaking in slang. I do hope you'll forgive me. Miss Lucy, you are the most honest, kind-hearted girl I know. I would not be here today if I did not think you to have the soul of an angel. But I can see that look on your face. Clear as the Texas sky, There's another man on your mind. He must be a fine fella, a good fella, or you would not love him. Fret not. There's my brave girl. Only let me be your faithful friend for now and always.
He's such a good man, every bit as much as Dr. Seward. But Mina, you know where my heart lies. With the dark-haired man you've heard talk of, Mr. Arthur Holmwood, the only man in the world I have ever loved or shall ever love.
Dear Lucy, my darling one, if ever a man loved a woman better, I know him not. My dear girl, will you do me the honor of...
Yes, Arthur, yes!
Lucy, I find that I'm already in love with your city.
Wait till you see a little more of the world, Mina, and then Exeter shall seem quite plain and ordinary, and I shall be the plainest and most ordinary memory of them all.
Never. So, when shall I meet Arthur?
Soon enough. Tell me, how is Jonathan doing abroad? You've scarcely mentioned him in your letters, and you haven't said a word about it since I picked you up at the station.
That's because I have no news. I haven't heard from him for some time. Oh, Lucy, I'm so anxious about him. This isn't like him at all.
No, indeed it is not. What about his employer at the firm, the one who sent him on the trip? Surely he must have heard from him.
I wrote to Mr. Hawkins some time ago, but he has heard nothing in weeks. I don't understand it. What if he is ill?
If he is, I'm sure Count Dracula has seen to his welfare, and he'll write as soon as he's able.
I'm sure you're right. How did you know the name of the Count?
You must have told me in your letters.
Right.
Please don't worry, Mina dear. Jonathan adores you. He'll write soon.
Please say something to make me stop thinking about it.
Of course. How thoughtless of me. Darling, I must tell you what happened in Whitby a few days ago. 'Tis the most ghastly ordeal. A ship bound for port there by the name of the Demeter was coming across the sea from Varna, they say. Only on the last days of the voyage, a dreadful storm blew up. The worst one in years. It was a miracle the little ship held together at all.
So did it arrive safely?
Oh, it arrived, but I would hardly say safely. When the ship crashed into port, they found there was no crew aboard, only the captain.
Well, what happened? The poor man couldn't have set off by himself, let alone manage it in a storm. What did he have to say?
Nothing. The poor soul was dead by the time they reached Whitby.
Dead?
They found him lashed to the helm with ropes and clutching a crucifix in his right hand.
Lord in heaven.
Is that not the most horrid thing you've ever heard?
I hardly know what to say.
All of Exeter has been talking of nothing else since it happened. People are saying that ghosts or devils must have overtaken the little ship after it left Varna.
Were there no passengers, cargo?
The only cargo found aboard were large wooden crates bound for... where was it? Carfax Abbey. You know, that strange old manor we passed next to Dr. Seward's asylum?
That's odd. What about passengers?
The only living thing aboard the ship was a large black dog.
A dog? Aboard a ship for so long? A voyage from a place like Varna takes several days.
Strange, isn't it? And I heard that when the ship crashed into the port, the dog jumped from the boat and plunged into the crowd of people who had watched it sail in. Then the beast ran off into the town and disappeared. People are saying it must have been possessed by one of the ghosts that overtook the vessel.
Was the ship's log never found? Surely it would hold the answers.
I don't know. Perhaps. I know. Why don't we go down to the docks tomorrow and find out?
I should have thought you'd be frightened to go to a place like that after hearing such fantastic tales.
I'm never afraid when I'm with you, Mina. You're brave enough for the both of us. And I must solve this mystery. Why, it keeps me awake at night. And when I do sleep, I can only dream of the ship being tossed about the waves. It's so thrilling and romantic.
Oh, Lucy, you haven't changed at all. I'm glad. I need you so much right now. And I'm relieved that this mystery has come along at this moment to distract me from worrying about Jonathan.
Please don't fret, Mina dear. He'll write soon. In the meantime, we will have such fun solving this mystery together.
You must forgive me. Here I am, complaining about my situation and boring you with my trials, when we should be celebrating. I vow you have never looked more beautiful in your life. Romance clearly agrees with you.
Mina, I'm so happy I dare not speak of it. I never thought there could be anyone like Arthur. He's kind and gentle and so handsome. He's like an angel.
Darling, I couldn't be happier for you if I tried. And if he's truly as wonderful as you say, then he might just be worthy of you.
Mina, I can't tell you how happy I am to have you here. It's been so lonely since Mother passed. Arthur visits as often as he can, but his family affairs keep him occupied more than we'd both wish. But now I have you here, and you mean more to me than 10,000 suitors.
Lucy, what would I do without you? Now, go to bed, and don't dream of shipwrecks or black dogs.
Well, I'll try, but I won't succeed. And I'll say a prayer for Jonathan.
Then say one for me, too.
Good night, Mina.
Good night, Lucy. 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 Lucy! Lucy, darling, can you hear me? Wake up!
Mina?
Oh, yes, I'm right here.
I must have been sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking?
Mother told me I used to do it all the time as a child.
Lucy, who was that man?
Was there a man here? Where?
He was standing over you a few moments ago. He fled when he heard me.
I don't know. I don't remember a man.
Lucy, you're hurt. There's blood flowing from your neck. Come, we must get you back into the house. It's all right. It's all right. The doctor will be here soon.
Miss Murray?
Yes?
I'm Dr. Jack Seward.
Oh, Dr. Seward, thank you for coming. I know that it is late and you don't usually treat illnesses of this kind anymore, but...
Not at all. Ailments, sleepwalking is the direct result of unsettled nerves, and ailments of the nervous kind are exactly my speciality. I'm very glad that you sent for me. I'm glad to know anyone that holds Miss Weston around the same esteem as I do.
Lucy is everything to me. Can you help her?
I believe so, but I must know about her behavior earlier today, particularly right before she went to bed. Anything unusual?
Not at all. I arrived on the afternoon train and she seemed like her normal self. Oh, before we went to bed, she was so full of animation, talking about her upcoming marriage. Oh, forgive me, Doctor.
There's nothing to forgive. I only want to see Lucy happy. So she was not distressed, no unsettling comments or nervous behavior?
Nothing. I can't explain it. But I must tell you something else. When I saw her leave the room, I chased her into the churchyard. And when I found her there, her neck was bleeding as if she'd suffered some terrible wound.
What? But you saw nothing harm her?
I can't be sure of what I saw. I had just woken up and it was dark, and I don't think that I was fully aware of myself yet either.
I see you've bandaged the wound here.
Yes, I did.
You did a very good job. If she had continued to lose blood in that way, it would have been too late by the time I arrived. You stopped the bleeding just in time. I thank you.
Please, don't thank me, Doctor. Only tell me what can be done for her now.
Well, keep her neck bandaged up tonight. I shall return in the morning with some medicine for her nerves, which may help with the sleepwalking. She has lost a good deal of blood, I can see that. Though I cannot see any of the usual anemic signs. I don't believe there's any cause for concern if she loses no more and spends a few days in bed to recover her strength.
Oh, Dr. Seward, thank you. That is such a relief.
But if you do not object, Miss Murray, I should like to bring in another physician, just to be safe. One who is more learned than I about physical illnesses. The chap I have in mind is a capital fellow and one of the best surgeons on the continent.
Well, if you advise it.
And I do. I think we'll all rest better knowing that Lucy is in good hands.
What is the gentleman's name?
Dr. Abraham van Helsing, one of Amsterdam's most eminent leading physicians. I could telegram him tonight and he could be here by noon tomorrow.
Very well, Doctor.
In the meantime, let's allow Lucy to rest. Would you open that window so that she may have some fresh air? I believe it would do her good.
Of course.
Oh, and Miss Murray, I know that it is late and that it has been a trying evening for you, but I wonder if I may speak with you in the parlor. I don't want to disturb Lucy now.
Of course.
What I have to say concerns your fiancé, Mr. Harker.
Jonathan,
I learned that he was your fiancé through conversations with Lucy and Mrs. Westenra. God rest her soul. He's currently in my facility. I was about to send a telegram over when I received your message.
Jonathan in an asylum?
He arrived early this morning.
Dr. Seward, are you trying to tell me that my fiancé is mad?
No. His symptoms merely resemble a temporary state of shock rather than a long-term psychological ailment. He should receive no lasting damage to his brain, but he is in a delicate state.
Well, what on earth is the matter with him?
According to the gentleman who brought him in, he hasn't slept in days, and he does not seem able to relax his mind or body. And since his arrival, he has been mumbling things incessantly.
Like what?
Most of what he's saying is inaudible, but what we have been able to understand doesn't make any sense together.
What has he said?
From what we've been able to make out, he frequently says Castle, Fall, and Mina. That is your name, isn't it?
When can I see him?
I'll see how he progresses tonight. If I think he's up for it, I shall bring him here tomorrow, and he can finish his recuperation in this house if you wish.
Thank you, Doctor. You are as fine a man and as loyal a friend as Lucy told me. She holds you in such high regard. I hope you know that.
Thank you, Miss Murray. That warms my heart. You must be tired. It's very late. I'll return tomorrow morning, Lord willing, with Mr. Harker and Dr. Van Helsing. Good night, Miss Murray.
Good night.
Steady on, Mr. Harker. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Well, if my Mina's at the end of this campaign, then I shall urge myself to be as strong and resilient as Caesar himself.
Mina will forgive you for being a little late under the circumstances.
Love waits for no man, Jack. Let the boy alone. It will not harm him to exert himself for a few moments if the goal is worthy.
I'm sorry, Abraham, but I do not believe that his fragile legs care about his goals, worthy as they may be.
Oh, come, Doctor, it's not so bad. I'm feeling better already. Besides, Mina will be waiting for me.
It is settled. Pay Dr. Seward no mind, my boy. You must fly to your lady. Now, Jack, will you please tell me more about Miss Lucy's condition?
Abraham Van Helsing, always trying to get out of trouble. Her condition isn't too serious, I'd say, but you should judge that for yourself. She has lost a good deal of blood.
How?
Which we don't really know. She must have injured herself when she was sleepwalking.
I may be able to find out the cause once I have examined her, but you don't think it was too serious?
No, I don't believe there's any cause for alarm.
I believe she would beg to differ.
Lucy, wake up. Dr. Seward? Dr. Seward, Lucy. Oh, my... Dr. Seward, help us. She's so pale.
Quick, Abraham, you'll have to do a full examination later.
Jonathan.
Mina, I'm here. Everything's going to be all right.
I just wanted to let her sleep. I just found her like this.
Mein Gott, she will die for sheer want of blood to keep the art's actions as it should be. There must be a transfusion of blood at once. Is it you or me, Jack?
I am younger and stronger, Abraham. It must be me.
Very well. Get ready. I will prepare the tools.
But what's to become of her? Will she come through this?
She has lost a great deal of blood. We must prepare to operate directly. Mr. Harker, will you please take the young lady to another room?
Of course. Come, Mina.
I want to stay with her.
The operation can be gruesome, Miss Murray. It is better if you step out. You'll be able to see her shortly.
The doctors are right. Come, Mina.
Hello. Can I help you?
Miss Mina Murray.
Yes?
I am Arthur Holmwood.
Mr. Holmwood, it's so good to meet you at last.
I've been most anxious to meet you as well. I've heard so many nice things from Lucy.
And I've heard marvelous things about you. Oh, I beg your pardon, my fiancé, Jonathan Harker.
Glad to know you, sir.
And you.
Is everything all right here? I thought I heard a cry when I was walking up the street.
Lucy is ill, I'm afraid.
What? How ill is she?
We don't really know. The doctors are preparing to operate on her now.
I must go to
But
her.
the doctors really shouldn't be disturbed.
Art!
How is she?
We don't know.
Art, this is Dr. Van Helsing.
And you are the lover of our dear miss, so you have come just in time. You can do now more than any that live.
Oh, what can I do for her? Tell me, doctor, and I shall do it. My life is hers, and I would give the last drop of blood in me to save her life.
My young friend, I do not ask so much as that. Not the last drop.
If only I could tell you, doctor, how many times I would die for her.
Then give her a transfusion of your blood.
I was going to do it, but Abraham could no doubt use the extra pair of hands, and I could better serve her as a doctor than as a patient.
Oh, well, what must I do?
Take off your coat, Mr. Art, and we shall prepare the tools. We will see to the little miss. Now, roll up your sleeve on your right arm.
Give me your arm. This may sting.
Fit for Lucy, I won't feel a thing.
I know that I should just be grateful that you're home safe, but I can't stop thinking about Lucy.
Rest. I have faith in Dr. Van Helsing.
So that was Dr. Abraham Van Helsing. I'd imagined him so differently. I'd prepared myself to meet a tall, stern, hard physician who had seen all the worst that the profession has to offer.
Do not let his looks and disposition deceive you. He's seen more in his 70 or so years than most men would see should they live to be 100. He's a good man, Mina, and he'll do everything in his power to help our Lucy.
I'm sure. Jonathan, what happened in Transylvania? Why were you gone so long?
You see, the strange thing is, I don't remember.
You don't remember anything at all? Nothing about Count Dracula or how you injured yourself?
I remember arriving at the castle. I remember meeting the Count. I remember deciding on a house and drawing up the papers, but then, nothing.
Well, what's the first thing you remember after that?
Waking up in a hospital in Bistritz, the nurses there said that a gypsy woman had found me lying in the bushes surrounding the castle. They said it looked as if I had taken some sort of fall.
Were you hurt badly?
No, not at all. The only wounds they couldn't really make much sense of were these marks on my neck.
Those are strange looking. They're almost like Lucy's.
Well, I also injured my head a bit, which is probably why I'm having trouble remembering things.
Probably. Why didn't you send me word when you came to? Or to Mr. Hawkins or anyone?
Darling, I didn't know who I was for days after I had woken up. As soon as I had known, they sent me on a train straight for Dr. Seward's asylum.
Would the Count know what happened?
Oh, I doubt it. He didn't seem a very clever sort of fellow.
What about your diary? Didn't you say you were going to keep a record of your travels?
Yes, but I don't know where it is. My best guess would be that it's lying on a desk somewhere in Castle Dracula.
Damn. Oh, pardon me, Jonathan.
Mina, nothing in the world could have kept you from me if I had only known myself. You know that, right?
Of course I do.
Oh, pardon the intrusion. Miss Murray, I believe. You must forgive me for not introducing myself. In times of crisis, we Dutchmen are apt to forget our manners. I am Abraham Van Helsing.
Dr. Van Helsing, I cannot tell you how glad we are to have you here. How is Lucy?
The transfusion was a success, and she is recovering. She had lost a great deal of blood, but the blood of her lover seems to be reviving her. She is resting now, but you may go visit her if you like, but you must not wake her.
Doctor, how can I ever thank you?
Oh, just one moment, Miss Murray. Mr. Archer, Dr. Seward gave me this. The hospital in Transylvania sent it over. It was in a pocket, I believe.
Why, Jonathan, it's your diary.
But perhaps this beautiful young lady may keep it for you for the time being, for safekeeping.
But why?
Well, your Mr. Archer has suffered some sort of ghastly shock, and his mind is not yet entirely stable. For the time being, it might be best if he did not relive the events that brought on this trauma. He must not read this until his mind is completely settled. Will you keep this for him, Miss Murray?
Of course I will. I'll find the truth, Jonathan. Don't you worry.
I know you will.
I am forever in your debt, Dr. Seward.
Not at all. She's still a far way off from being her full self again. But she'll get there. Slowly but surely.
Oh, I hope we can say the same for me, Jack.
You'll forget the operation ever happened in a day or two. Just in the meantime, try not to be too gallant. Allow yourself to rest.
You both are the most gallant gentlemen in all of England, and My heroes, as well as Lucy's.
Come now, hero is too much. How about just friend?
Gladly.
And how do you find our dear little patient, Miss Murray?
I think she looks better already, Dr. Van Helsing.
Good, good. Now, I believe your Mr. Harker has had quite enough excitement for one day. It might be best if you take him up to his room.
Of course. Poor Jonathan, I hope he doesn't feel neglected. But now that I've seen Lucy, I can be at peace for the night.
Good, good. Now, don't keep your lover waiting.
I shan't. Thank you, Dr. Seward. And you, Dr. Van Helsing.
Not at all, my dear. Not at all. And you, my brave fellow, you'd better get home and into your own bed. You should be resting.
Yes, Doctor. Jack, how can I ever thank you or Dr. Van Helsing?
By taking good care of her yourself when our work is done.
That I will, Jack. On my honor. Good night, doctors.
Nice boy.
Now, Abraham, have you had an opportunity to examine these wounds on her neck?
There are wounds to the neck.
You see just there over the external jugular vein, 2 punctures. Not very large, but not very wholesome looking either. There isn't any sign of disease, though.
No, indeed there's not.
But the edges are white and worn looking, as if by some sort of trituration. It may have something to do with the loss of blood.
Perhaps.
But if that were the case, then the whole bed would have to have been drenched to a scarlet with the blood the girl must have lost to leave her as she was.
Well, what do you think?
I can make nothing of it.
I must return to Amsterdam tonight. There are books and things there which I want. You stay here and keep watch.
Am I to play the nurse, then?
We're the best nurses, you and I. You stay here all night with her, see that she has something to eat and drink, and that nothing disturbs her. Listen to me, friend John. You must not sleep at all tonight. You can sleep later on. For now, you must take care of her. I shall return as soon as possible. Then we may begin.
Begin? What on earth do you mean?
We shall see. Remember, she is in your charge. If you leave her an arm before, you will never sleep well again.
Dr. Seward?
Ah, there is our brave patient. You do not wish to sleep, then?
I'm afraid.
Afraid to sleep? Why so? Sleep is our mind's way of finding a beautiful escape from the world around us.
Not if you were like me. Not if sleep were to you a presage of horror.
Whatever do you mean?
I don't know. That's what's so terrible. All this weakness comes to me in my sleep. I see dreadful, frightening things, and in the morning, I can't remember exactly what I saw. Then the very thought of sleep is dreadful to me.
My dear girl, you may sleep tonight. I am here to watch over you, and I can promise you that you will be safe.
I know that I can trust you.
And I promise that once I see any evidence of bad dreams, I shall wake you at once.
You will? Truly? Then I will sleep. Thank you, Doctor.
Good morning, Dr. Seward.
Good morning, Miss Murray.
How is she?
Her color's coming back. She slept well. I think she's going to be just fine.
That's good to hear. Have you been with her all night?
Yes, Dr. Van Helsing gave me express instructions not to leave her.
Dear man, I quite like your Dr. Van Helsing.
A greater man never breathed, nor a kinder one.
I do not doubt it for a minute. Where is he at present?
He had to hasten back to Amsterdam. He shall return in 3 days' time to see how Lucy progresses. I'm confident that when he does, he shall see how utterly changed for the better. Now, how is Mr. Harker this morning?
Still asleep. I ordered the staff not to wake him. I think he should be well rested for our wedding on Friday.
This Friday?
Yes. We agreed that it'll be some time before he can have a long day out, but we're going to have a small ceremony here. And nothing too extravagant. I don't want to cause too much excitement for him or for Lucy.
You are quite right, Miss Murray. Or should I say Mrs. Harker?
How about just Mina?
Well, Mina, let me offer you my heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you, Doctor.
There is our patient now. I shall go and order some breakfast for you both.
Thank you. But then I insist you must get some sleep.
I shall. You have my word.
Mina.
My dear friend, how are you feeling this morning?
A little tired, perhaps, but so happy. Dr. Seward told me Arthur gave me his blood for my operation. It's strange. I feel closer to him than ever. It's almost like I'm a part of him now.
Oh, darling, I am so happy for you. And I know that I shall grow to love him immensely now that I've seen how much he truly loves you. Oh, darling, you look so much better already. It seems Arthur's blood and a good night's rest were all that you needed.
I slept so peacefully and with sweet Dr. Seward watching over me. I know I shall never be afraid if he's present. But what about that other doctor? The older one? I don't remember much, but there was another doctor here, wasn't there?
Yes, Dr. Abraham Van Helsing. He is a good man. Jonathan had only known him a few hours and was already singing his praises. Now, he will be back in a few days to see how you progress, so we must show him a changed woman. Do you understand? And you must do exactly what the doctor and I tell you.
Yes, Mama.
I'll go and see about your breakfast.
Oh, Mina, in the future, could you make sure my window is open when I sleep? I woke in the night and it was so stuffy in here.
Of course. Now lie back and try to sleep. I feel very solemn, but very, very happy. Jonathan was feeling weak today, so the ceremony had to take place at his bedside. He sat up in bed, propped up with his pillows, but he answered, "I will," so strongly and firmly. I could hardly speak. My heart was so full that such simple words as those seemed to choke me. And the attendants who came from the hospital were so kind. Oh, please, God, that I shall never forget them or how I feel this day. When it was over, what could I say? I could only tell him that I was the happiest woman in all the wide world, that I had nothing to give him except myself, my life, my trust, and that with these went all my love for all the days of my life. I cannot wait to tell Lucy of the wonderful morning I've had. She will be delighted for me, I know it. Good morning, dear. Oh, come, you must wake up. You need to take in the sunshine. It was such a beautiful morning. Oh, and I brought you my bouquet from the ceremony. Oh, I wish you could have been there, Lucy. 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 Lucy, darling, wake up. Lucy?
What's the matter, Mina?
I can't wake her.
God in the Himmel.
She alive, Abraham?
I can barely feel the pulse. Quick, man, bring the brandy.
Dr. Van Helsing, is she going to be all right?
It is not too late. The heart still beats, though feebly. All our work from before is undone. We must begin again. I fear that Arthur is not yet well enough to be called upon for more blood. It will have to be me or Dr. Seward.
Well, what's wrong with me?
And who might you be, young man?
Quincy Morris! What brought you here?
Well, I suppose Art is the cause. He sent me a message this morning. He wasn't feeling up to snuff after the to-do a few days ago, and so he wanted me to check up on Miss Lucy. And unless if I miss my guess, I'd say she's not a full hamper, is she?
No, indeed.
Well, looks like I just came in the nick of time. You only have to tell me what to do.
A brave man's blood is the best thing on earth when a person is in danger. You're a man and no mistake, and you strike me as brave. The devil may work against us for all he is worth, but God sends us men when we need them. Come.
Oh, Mr. Morris, I thank you. With all my heart, I thank you.
And you must be Miss Mina. Oh, Lucy's told me all about you. Or, judging by the getup you got going on, should I be saying Mrs.?
I was married only this morning, Mr. Morris.
Well, any friend of Miss Lucy is a friend of mine, and I like my friends to call me Quincy. As long as that's all right with you, Mrs. What's her new name?
Oh, Harker. Mina Murray Harker. But please, call me Mina.
I beg your pardon, Mina, but we must continue with the operation. I will send Dr. Seward down when we have news.
Certainly, Doctor. Look after her.
We will, Mina. Don't worry.
Jonathan!
Did you see who that was?
Jonathan, what is it? Who is it?
This is the man himself.
Who? Who have you seen?
I believe it was him, but he's grown so young. My God, if this be true, if I'd only known. If I'd only known.
Jonathan, you need more rest. Come, we must get you back into the house. Well?
Another successful operation.
Provided you follow my express instructions, I believe Miss Lucy will recover very shortly.
That's good to hear. Oh, my dear friend, I've so much to tell you. When you rested, that is, but here, I brought you my bouquet from the ceremony. I thought it might bring you in Arthur luck. Not that you'll be needing it.
They're just beautiful, Mrs. Harker.
I too have brought some flowers for Miss Lucy.
For me, Dr. Van Helsing?
Yes, but not for you to play with. These are your medicines. Do not frown, they are not for you to swallow, so you need not snub your ever so charming nose, or I shall have to inform my friend Arthur what woes he may have to endure in seeing so much beauty he so loves so distort. Yeah, that brings your nice nose all straight again. This is medicinal, but you do not know how. I put them on the window, I make a pretty wreath and hang them round your neck so that you sleep well. Yes, these, like the lotus flower, make your trouble forgotten.
Why, Dr. Van Helsing, I believe you're only putting up a joke on me. These flowers are only common garlic.
No trifling with me, I never jest. There is a grim purpose in all that I do, and I must warn you that you must not thwart me in this.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh, Miss Lucy, do not be cross with me. I only do for your good. But there is much virtue in this common flower. But hush now. You as well, Jack and Madam Mina. You must not question me in this.
I won't pretend to know what you're doing, Abraham, but I trust that you have a good reason for it.
I do. And silence is part of the obedience that I insist on. Obedience will make you strong and well and put you back into the arms that love you, Lucy. And soon.
Thank you all 1,000 times for your kindness to me. What have I done to deserve such friends?
You have done plenty, my dear. Now, lie back and rest your head. Sleep if you are able. Jack, I wish to speak with you in private. Madam Mina, I leave you in charge. Now, take care that you do not disturb it. Even if she say the room feel closed tonight, you must not open the window or the door.
Well, Abraham, I know you have a reason for everything that you do, but I'm buggered if I know what it is. It is very well that we have no skeptic here, or he would say you were working some spell to keep out an evil spirit.
Perhaps I am.
I know I'm keeping you awake, Mina. I'm sorry. The smell of this garlic is so strong, and Dr. Van Helsing made me promise not to move it.
Well, maybe we could open a window for you.
Dr. Seward said not to.
Well, it won't hurt you for 5 minutes. There we go. Maybe that will allow you to relax. This garlic smell is strong enough for the both of us, so I will be sleeping in the guest room tonight. I know. I'll make you some warm milk. Now maybe that will help you to try to relax.
The air in here feels so much better already. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now don't move a muscle. I'll be right back. There you are. Lucy? Oh, well, I'll leave it here for you in case you want it later. Good night, dear.
His red eyes, they're always the same.
Did you say something? Oh, well. Good night, dear.
Throw up the blinds, I want light. Mein Gott.
Doctor? Lucy!
No, Madam Mina, you must keep calm. Go downstairs and fetch a bottle of brandy.
Yes, Doctor.
She is dying. She does not have much time left. Send a message to that poor boy that loves her and let him come and see the last.
I will go myself at once. It might be easier if he heard the news from me.
Yes, but will it be easy for you to give this news?
He is my friend, Abraham, and I must do this one last thing for Lucy.
Go then. I shall tidy her up so as not to distress him. I do not think he could handle the sight of her. Go, and by God, make haste.
But who will tell Mina?
No one for now. I don't think she could bear the thought. But she will find peace when Miss Lucy is released at last. Thank you, Madam Mina.
Dr. Van Helsing, is she going to be all right?
We don't know.
Does she need another operation? I can give her my own blood this time. I am just as strong as Arthur or Quincy Morris.
I'm afraid it is too late for that.
But you can help her.
Madam Mina, I will do all that is in my power to save Miss Lucy from peril.
I believe you, Doctor. Thank you.
Go. Jack, you've returned so quickly.
I ran into Art in the street.
I was coming to see Lucy. Dr. Van Helsing, what happened?
She has lost more blood. Too much.
Can we not do another transfusion? I've not donated any yet. I could give her my blood.
I told you from the first, Doctor, I would give every drop of blood in me to save her life.
I'm afraid it would do no good. Miss Lucy does not have much time left.
Less than you think, Abraham. She's dead.
Mina, would you please take Mr. Elmwood down to the kitchen and give him something to drink?
Of course.
Poor dear girl. She has peace at last. Now it's over.
Not so. Alas, it is not so. But she will find peace when Miss Lucy is released. We can do nothing as of yet. We must wait and see.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I had to look in on my newest case study.
Is that the chap you were telling us about? That
Zoophagus. It's a singular condition. Sanguine temperament, great physical strength, morbidly excitable. But his most curious tendency is his unusual affection for animals. You see, when he first arrived, he got into the habit of catching flies. He kept a whole box of them in his room. Then he turned his mind to the spiders.
What did he do with the flies?
Well, one would think that he simply would have thrown them out. Instead, he began to feed them to his spiders.
Interesting.
But that activity was short-lived. Now he has a whole colony of sparrows fluttering about around his window. And when they started to arrive, his spiders disappeared. I can only conclude that he then began to feed them to the birds as he had done with the flies.
I'm glad this fellow is locked up.
Gentlemen, I must ask that you delay this conversation to another time. I've gathered you all here for a very important talk.
But first, Dr. Van Helsing, I must say something. Jack, Quincy, you loved Lucy as I did. She told me all about it. I know in my heart that you have suffered as much about her death as I have. But you bore yourselves with the strength of Spartans. And there were no friends closer to Lucy's heart than you. I don't know how to thank you for all that you did for her.
Say nothing, Art. We would have done so much more if only Nick could save her.
Any one of us would have given our lives for her. But she would not want us to wallow in self-pity. She would only want us to remember her and to treasure her.
My only comfort is that I know that in giving her my blood, in the eyes of God, we were married. To our Lucy.
To our
Lucy.
Sorry I'm late, gentlemen, but I was cleaning out Lucy's things and I found this on the table beside her bed. It's dated the night before she died. Read it, Doctor.
I write this and leave it to be seen, so that no one may come to harm through my doing. This is an exact record of what occurred tonight. I know that I am dying. I can feel that. But I must get this down, even if I die in the doing. I went to bed as usual, taking care that the flowers were placed as dear Dr. Van Helsing directed. And then I fell asleep. I was waked some time later by a flapping at my window. I had become accustomed to this sound. It had begun the night I walked in the graveyard and Mina saved me. I was not afraid, as I knew that she was asleep in the next room. I tried to go back to sleep, but could not. Then there came upon me the old fear of sleep, and I was determined to stay awake. I went to my window and looked out, and nothing was there but a bat, scraping its wings against the glass. I returned to my bed, and the noise stopped. Suddenly I heard my window shatter. The blinds flew back with the wind, and in the aperture of my broken window was the head of a gaunt gray wolf. I clutched at the wreath of flowers around my neck, hoping for some kind of protection, but accidentally tore them from myself. For a moment or two I stood, looking into the creature's eyes as if struck by lightning. The room began to spin around. Through it all, I kept my eyes fixed on the wolf in my window. I tried to move, but there was some spell on me. I remember no more after a while. God shield me from harm this night. Goodbye, dear Arthur. If I should not survive this night, God keep you, dear. And God help me.
God in heaven, it is just as I feared.
Dr. Van Helsing, I do not mean to be rude, but throughout Lucy's illness, we all took your orders without question, no matter how unconventional they were. Now Lucy is dead, and you still conceal your thoughts from us. Now, will you kindly tell us what the hell is going on?
You're right, my friend. It is time that you knew the truth. I am not as young as I used to be, but I suppose that is simply the way the time works. It's not a particularly insightful statement. Nevertheless, with age comes experience, and with experience comes wisdom. And believe me, experience I have. After extensive research and deliberation, I believe that our dear, sweet Miss Lucy has joined the ranks of the undead as Nosferatu, the vampire.
Abraham, are you mad?
Would that I were. Madness would be easy to bear compared with a truth like this.
Do you truly expect us to believe that Miss Lucy Westenra has become a creature of myth and legend from the East?
Do you mean to tell me, John, that you have no suspicion as to what poor Miss Lucy died of, not even by her own words in this letter, but by our own experiences?
She died of nervous prostration following a great loss or waste of blood.
And how was the blood lost or wasted, Jack? You're a clever man, and you reason well with your fly-eating lunatics, but you have become too prejudiced when you do not let your eyes see or your ears hear. Just the fault of our modern science that it wants to explain it all, and yet every day we see the growth of new beliefs and miraculous developments that we cannot explain. Do you know all the mysteries of life and death, my friend?
No, I do not expect any one of us here to be foolish enough to believe that Miss Lucy has become undead.
I believe him.
How can you say that, Mina, when you knew Lucy longer and loved her every bit as much as I?
Madam Mina and I have conferred on this matter several times since Miss Lucy's death. And I offer this as further proof.
What is this?
Young Mr. Harker's diary from abroad when he was kept prisoner by that dreadful Count Dracula. It says it all. Madam Mina has translated the shorthand so that we may understand.
And you believe this, Count Dracula fella turned Miss Lucy into a vampire?
Precisely.
And just assuming that we believe you, which as of now I most certainly do not, what would you have us do about him?
Nothing for now. Dracula is far too clever. He is too well hidden. He must have known that Lucy had friends who cared for her and would do anything to protect her. Otherwise, he would not have attempted such a deed unless he had the very best of hiding places. This Miss Lucy we must hunt first. Then, once he sees that this plan has failed, he will make himself known to us.
Lucy is dead. We all saw her entombed in the mausoleum, and you talk of hunting her, Doctor. There is no one to hunt. Death has already hunted her down and won.
No, my poor friend, death has not yet reached her. She is in that cursed state of not being alive, but not being dead. She is undead. And as her friends, it is our task to save her from an eternity in this purgatory.
What must we do, Doctor?
We must go to her grave and pierce her heart with a stake.
Never!
It is the only way.
Abraham, for God's sake, the girl is dead. Why must we mutilate her poor corpse now?
I won't allow it.
Art, you must. Daily, pieces of my memory come back to me, and I have seen the poor girls that he has preyed upon and turned into his disciples of the night. I will not sit by and let that sweet girl become one of those creatures.
Art, if they're wrong about this, it won't hurt. It just doesn't matter. But if they're right about this, then we have to do it.
Jack.
I don't know. Mina, what would you do? Would you allow Lucy's corpse to be mutilated and disrespected all for a hunch?
I would. Because Lucy would have done it for me if our places were reversed. You all said that you would stop at nothing to save her, and now that is what we must do. If she believed that one of our souls were in peril and faced eternal damnation, even if there was no more evidence than her own instinct, she wouldn't have risked it. She would have saved us, difficult as it would have been.
My friends, it is too late for us to save her life. But we may yet have a chance to save her soul. Who will come with me?
I will.
If what you do concerns the Count, I am with you heart and soul.
I will come also, but only to put any of my own doubts to rest.
Art?
Mina, you really believe that Lucy would want this?
I'd bet my life on it.
Then I will go.
My friends, make ready. The hour is late, and we leave at midnight.
I am here to do your bidding, Master. I am your slave, and you will reward me, for I shall be faithful. I have worshipped you long and afar off. Now that you are near, I await your commands, and you will not pass me over. Will you, dear Master, in your distribution of good things? Be true to your slave, Master, as I will be to you.
Come, my friends. Come.
I still think this is madness, and I know a thing or two about the insane.
Miss Lucy is buried here, in this tomb. She will be in a state of the vampire at this hour, so I must seal the door in case she attempts to seek shelter from us.
What are those?
The sacred host, Holy Communion wafers. Brought them from Amsterdam. I have an indulgence from the Vatican.
And those wafers can help Lucy?
They will weaken her. The vampire cannot be around anything holy, be it the host, the cross, holy water, anything that the devil despises. These will block her in case she attempts to hide herself.
Did you hear that?
Sounded like a snake.
No. She is coming. She is almost upon us. Here, my friends. The only way to kill a vampire is to stab them to the heart with one of these. Then, what? Then we must cut off her head and fill her mouth with the garlic. Use these tools well. We will not have another chance after tonight. After she sees us, have courage, my friends. Let us bring Miss Lucy back to herself. Are you with me, Jack?
I'm with you, Abraham.
And you, my brave friend.
I could not prevent Lucy's death, but I will save her from a fate far worse.
Good, good.
Come to me, Arthur. Leave these people and come to me. My arms are hungry for you. Come and we shall rest together. Come, husband, come.
Come into the tomb! We must finish this work!
Do as you will, friend. There can be no evil like this evermore.
It is done now, my friend. The stake is in her heart, and her soul has been released. When I had staked her, I looked into her eyes and saw a look of blessed relief. She is once again our Miss Lucy.
Thank you, Doctor.
Go. See her once again as her true self before I finish this task.
No. I thank you. I will finish this.
Are you sure, my boy? It will be gruesome. You will have to cut off her head and then cut her tongue out to fill her mouth with the garlic. Can you stand such a fearsome ordeal?
Lucy was my wife in all but name. This is my task and mine alone.
Very well.
I'm sorry for doubting your word, Abraham. Now at least it is over.
It is over for Miss Lucy, but it is far from over for us. Once the Count learns of what has been done here tonight, he will seek vengeance. We can do no more tonight. Are you still with me?
To the death.
Whatever can be done to rid the world of this monster must be done, and I'm with you to the end.
As am I.
As am I. I'm with you, Doctor. From the bottom of my broken heart, I thank you. Tell me what I am to do, and I shall not falter. My life is yours, and my Lucy will be avenged.
Brave lad. Come. We can do no more. We must return. Then we will begin to make our plans.
Renfield, you have lost your interest in birds, then?
They're all gone, Doctor.
Gone where?
A special place. They shan't rob me. They shan't murder me by inches. I fight for you, my lord and master. I'll fight.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Where do we begin, Doctor?
Madam Mina, I understand that you and your husband have put up in exact order all things that have happened up to this point.
What are these, Mina?
The translated copies of Jonathan's shorthand journal, as well as my own, Lucy's letter that she left us, and the ship's log of the Demeter.
Was it not lost on the voyage?
Police recovered it and allowed me to copy it down in shorthand. When I read it, I was astonished to find how much it read like Jonathan's journal. And it was the only ship from Varna to England during the time in which Count Dracula must have arrived. We were up most of last night translating the journals and my notes, and assembling it all in the order in which they were recorded. Every bit of knowledge that we have about this man or thing is right here.
Well done, Madam Mina. You clever woman. Knowledge will be our greatest weapon. Our biggest advantage over this creature is that we know much more about him than he does about anyone here. But it will not be long before he comes for us.
I fear he may have come already.
What do you mean, Jack?
I believe he may have taken possession of Renfield.
The patient that plays with the birds?
Yes, I have made new observations in my case study of the zoophagus condition. It seems that his objective, not unlike that of the Count's, is to absorb as many souls as he possibly can. You see, he feeds the flies to the spiders to the birds, and then he consumes the birds. Lord only knows what would happen if he were given any larger creatures. And when he has finished consuming all of the birds, he begins his cycle anew.
Well, what does any of this have to do with the Count?
Moments ago, I heard him speaking to himself.
But plenty of lunatics do that, don't they?
Yes, but this seemed different, like he truly believed someone was listening. And normally I would have diagnosed him with schizophrenia, but in light of all that has happened, I'm inclined to believe he may not be as mad as all that. Perhaps the Count intends to use him in some way to lead us to our end.
Well, how much damage can he do locked up in there?
The powers of the Nosferatu know no such bounds as walls and iron bars, Mr. Morris.
Dr. Seward, I do not wish to interfere with your studies of this man, but I would like to meet him. If what you say about him is true, then we must find out exactly what he knows.
Come, I'll take you to him. You can see for yourself.
We will wait till you're here.
Renfield, a lady wishes to see you.
Why?
She's going through the house and wants to see everyone in it.
Very well. Let her in by all means. But first, give me just a minute to tidy up the place. Show the lady in, Doctor.
Good morning, Mr. Renfield.
You're not the lady the doctor wished to marry, are you? Well, you can't be, can you? She's dead.
No, I have a husband of my own. My name is Mrs. Harker.
Then what are you doing here?
My husband and I are staying here on a visit to Dr. Seward.
Then don't stay.
But why not?
How did you know that I wanted to marry anyone?
What an asinine question, Doctor.
I don't see why that is, Mr. Renfield.
Well, you would surely understand, Mrs. Harker, that when a man is as loved and honored as our host is, everything regarding him is of interest to our little community. He is so far above us all. Why, I'm a man with strange beliefs. It was no wonder that my friends were alarmed and insisted that I be put under his control. As the scripture says, for the blood is the life.
Come, Mrs. Harker. We must move on.
Goodbye, Mr. Renfield. I hope I may see you often, under circumstances far more pleasant to yourself.
Farewell, sweet lady. I pray God I may never see your sweet face again. May he bless and keep you. Master! Oh, he has deserted me all over!
Well?
A singular case, as Dr. Seward said. Though if I didn't know any better after that conversation, I would think he was as sane as you or me. Perhaps a little eccentric, but not at all what I had imagined.
No, I'm as surprised as you are. I've never seen him so composed. Though a little too devious for my tastes.
Then perhaps our theory was wrong.
No, I don't think so. His last words to me were so genuine, so frightened, as if he knew that something he was doing would cause trouble. No, not trouble, peril, for all involved.
Well, that would be us.
Watch him, Jack. Watch him closely. If he makes a move, write it down or come and tell us. This Renfield could be the key to bringing down this demon.
Or the key to his bringing us down.
Well, we must do everything that is in our power to ensure that Arthur is correct. Tonight, we go to Carfax Abbey to snuff out this evil.
I'm coming with you this time.
No, Mina, you must stay here.
This creature attacked my husband and made you a prisoner. And I love Lucy as much as any of these gentlemen here. I will do my part in bringing down this monster who destroyed her and nearly destroyed you. I am going to Carfax.
No, Madam Mina, you must stay here tonight. I have another task for you. Jack, if you do not object, I would like for Madam Mina to go through your case studies on this Mr. Renfield and add them to our records.
Of course, they are all at your disposal.
I do not doubt your fighting spirit, my dear, nor your ability. Quite the contrary. You have a greater talent than any one of us here, and we must make good use of it. And from now on, I insist that you wear a cross around your neck. Will you do as I ask, Madam Mina?
I will stay behind tonight, Doctor, but I have one condition.
What is it?
That you must not keep me out of your discussions, nor conceal anything from me out of fear that I could not bear it. I am as strong as any man here, and I will see this creature brought to its knees.
That seems like a fair bargain, don't you think, Mr. Harker?
All right, Mina. As you wish.
Good. Tonight, we will set out for Carfax Abbey. Madam Mina will stay here and go through all information we can find on Mr. Renfield. But first, I think it's good for me to tell you something of this enemy with which we must deal, so that we can then discuss how we must act and take our measure accordingly.
What else do you know, Doctor?
There are such beings as vampires. Some of us have evidence that they exist. Even were it not for our own unhappy experiences, the teachings and the records of the past give proof enough for sane peoples. And mad ones, for that matter. Though I was the first of us to believe, I began a skeptic. Were it not that through the long years I trained myself to keep an open mind, I could not have truly believed until Miss Lucy's death came upon us.
Doctor, what do you know?
First, there is no more mercy in him than there is milk in a male tiger.
Hey, that's Shakespeare, right?
Yeah, Coriolanus.
How did you know that, Quincy?
Well, not all Americans are as ignorant as you think. Only some of them.
The Nosferatu do not die like the bee when they sting but once. No, he is only stronger, and being stronger have yet more power to do evil. The vampire which is amongst us is of himself as strong as 20 men. He is of cunning more than mortal, for his cunning be the growth of ages. He hath the aids of all the dead, all that he can come nigh to are at his command. He is brute, and more than that. He is the devil in callous. He can, without limitations, appear when and wherever in any of the forms that are to him, be it man, bat, or wolf. He can, within his range, control the elements of storm, fog, and thunder. He can at times vanish and become unknown. And above all, he gains his power and his youth from the blood of man. But he has a weakness. His power ceases, as does that of all evil things, with the coming of the day. And he must rest in his own earth.
What is our task for tonight?
We know from the ship's log that he came over with 4 large crates containing the earth of his homeland. These are his hiding places during the day. Without them, he would be at the mercy of the sun. We must make these boxes uninhabitable for him. We will fill them with the host and with the cross. He will not dare seek refuge in them again. Now I ask you, are you still ready for this battle?
We are, Dr. Van Helsing.
For this battle, and the battle after that, and so on.
For as long as it takes.
Until either we or this evil are wiped from the earth.
This has ceased to be a battle for Lucy. It is now a battle for the preservation of all mankind. For if Count Dracula is allowed to live on, Lord only knows how many more children of the night he may create. There are none but us who know his true identity. We alone can vanquish him.
Or die trying.
Let us not say that. Let us only say that we shall abolish this evil for all time.
For Lucy, and for all.
For Lucy, and for all.
Amen.
Oh, this place smells vile.
Jack, stand by the door and keep watch. Here, uncover them.
Should we pray first? I brought a rosary.
Hey, I thought you said you weren't Catholic.
I reconsidered.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Next one. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Quick, last one. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen.
Come, Doctor, we have not much time.
Oh, but the ship's log said there were 4 crates. We've only cleansed 3.
Look around you. There are no other crates.
Harker is right. Dracula is far too clever to keep all of his safe houses in the same place. We will not find a 4th crate tonight.
Well, where is it?
At this moment, your guess is as good as mine. We have done all we can. Let's return to the house and confer with Madam Mina. Quickly, go!
Please, I beg you, let me out! Take me away in a waistcoat and with guards if you must, but let me out! You don't know what you do by keeping me here, Silver! For the sake of the sacred, by all you hold dear, by your love that was taken, by the hope that still lives in you! Please, you don't know what you do by keeping me here, let me out! Can't you hear me, man? Won't you save my soul, Steward? Please, I beg you, will you not understand? Don't you know I am a man in earnest? I'm a sane man, fighting for my immortal soul. Let me go! Let me go.
You have failed me, Renfield.
Master.
You betrayed me.
No, I swear it.
Your words mean little, my faithless friend.
I beg you.
It is too late for pleas. You've become a hindrance. And hindrances must be cut out.
Mr. Renfield? Oh, Mr. Renfield, can you hear me? It's Mrs. Harker. Mr. Renfield.
What's happened, Mina?
It was him. He was here.
Dracula? You were right. I dismissed Renfield's fits as madness. It could have led us to the Count. Studies led the Count to us.
I only wish that I had been wrong.
God help us, I thought we would have more time.
It appears not, Doctor.
We must not fail tomorrow.
But what about Mr. Renfield?
There's nothing to be done now. He's dead.
Oh!
Be at peace tonight, my friend.
I must say, I do not like the idea of Mina being involved in this, Doctor.
My boy, I think it is time you called me Abraham.
Well, Abraham, I have seen firsthand what this devil is capable of, and I don't see how I can reconcile myself to allowing my wife, whom I love above all others, to be put directly in his path.
Jonathan, I understand why you want to protect her. Perhaps if my own wife had possessed Madam Mina's strength of mind, we would still be together, instead of her rotting in that asylum. Mina is a great woman, capable of much. Naturally, you want to keep her safe.
Yes.
I could not love or respect your Madam Mina more if she were my own daughter. But even I can see we cannot afford to turn down any assistance. Would that we had 100 like the little madam, we would conquer the count by sunrise.
I'll drink to that.
To your Madam Mina, may she stay safe, and may she stay strong.
Hear, hear.
Prost.
Silence! Make a sound and I shall dash your brains out before your very eyes.
Wait, my friend.
You would be wise to listen. And so you, like these others, would dare to pit your brains against mine. You would help these men to hunt me and make trouble in my designs. Well, now you know. And they too shall know, in part, what it is to cross my path. You should have kept your energies for use closer to home. Instead, you decide to pit your wits against me. Me, who commanded nations, and intrigued them and fought for them centuries before you were even born.
Enough!
And now, you, their best beloved one, are now unto me. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, kin of my kin. And soon you shall be my companion in the night. But first you must be punished for what you have done here.
You underestimate me. And you underestimate Abraham Van Helsing and Jonathan Harker.
You have aided in thwarting me. Well, now you shall answer to my call. Whenever my mind reaches out to you and bids you come to me, you shall come. You will move heaven and earth, go across land and sea to do my bidding. Now, rise. Rise. Drink.
Let it go!
You think you baffle me? You! Oh, you think you've destroyed my one place of rest? Well, I have others. Oh, yes, you shall all suffer yet. My revenge has only just begun!
My God. Mina. He has disappeared. We will not find him again tonight.
God have mercy on me.
God have mercy on us all.
Jack!
Jonathan, Mina, Abraham told me what happened.
I was wondering if we might be able to stay in this room for the time being. It is the safest in the asylum, and I have no doubt that all of us wish to keep Mina from any further harm.
Of course, the room is at your disposal.
Why, if only God would deliver him into my hands just long enough to destroy his physical form, and then if I could follow him into hell and kill him myself, I would do it.
Hush! In the name of God, Jonathan, don't say such things. I am here, and I am alive. Do not fear anymore.
Your wife is wise, my boy. I wonder if I might have a moment alone with Madam Mina.
Of course. Come, Jack.
Oh, Dr. Van Helsing.
There, my child. My dear, are you so afraid, if not for yourself, for others, after what has happened?
No, I am not afraid for them. My mind is made up.
To what, pray tell?
If I find in myself, and I shall watch keenly for it, a sign of harm to any that I love, I will die.
You would not take your own life.
I would. If there were no friend who loved me, who would save me such pain and so desperate an effort.
A beautiful, beautiful child. There is such a friend. I owed it in my account with God to do this for you if need be.
Dr. Van Helsing, you are the truest friend I've ever known.
But there are those who would stand between you and death. You must not die. For until the one who has fouled your sweet life is truly dead, you must not die. For if he lives, your death would make you one of his own, like Miss Lucy. No, you must live. You must struggle and strive to live.
I promise you, my dear friend, that if God will let me live, I shall strive to do so till this horror has passed away from me. Doctor, I've had an idea. Would you do me one other service?
What am I to do for you?
I want you to hypnotize me.
Hypnotize you?
If Dracula is right, that I am flesh of his flesh and kin of his kin, and he's connected to my mind, then I must be connected to his. Perhaps we can learn where he is or what he intends to do next.
You clever woman, how did I not think of that? I will do as you ask. Now, sit back, relax. I want you to isolate yourself from the burdens of your life and only think of your own thoughts. Open your eyes. Madam Mina, where are you?
I do not know.
What do you see?
I can see nothing. Everything is dark.
What do you hear?
The lapping of water. It is gurgling by, and little waves leaping. I can hear them outside.
Then you are on a ship.
Yes, on a ship.
Do you hear anything else besides the lapping of the water?
I hear the sound of men stamping overhead as they run about the decks.
What are you doing?
I am still as death.
Madam Mina?
Did it work, Doctor?
Indeed it did, my dear.
Come along, you two. The others are waiting for us.
My friends, our dear Madam Mina has just put us back on the trail of our prey. His plan is simple. Escape!
Escape?
Precisely. He saw that with but one box of earth left, and a pack of men and our clever madam following him like dogs after the fox, England was no longer the place for him. Our fox is a wily one. He thinks to escape, but no! We follow.
Where is he going?
He's making the journey home. Where else can he go? We must follow him to Transylvania at once. All of us.
Do you mean to say, Abraham, that you would bring Mina in her sad case and infected as she is with that devil's blood right into the jaws of his death trap?
My friend, we need Madam Mina's connection to the Count in case he attempts to strike us when we arrive or he changes his destination. My poor boy, I would save her from that awful place if I could. God forbid I should take her there myself. But there is work, wild work, that only your eyes can aid us in. You have seen this vulture's nest, and you know his cleverness. We must bring Mina, for now, more than ever, we must keep our oath to follow him into the jaws of hell. He can live on for centuries. She is but a mortal woman. It is no use for us to wait for him to die and free her. Time is now to be dreaded, since he put his mark upon her throat.
He is right, Jonathan. We must put fears aside now, for the sake of this work.
And we will need your knowledge as well. You have seen this place with your own eyes. None of we have. Now, Jonathan, please, tell us everything we need to know once we arrive.
Well, once he gets off the boat at Varna, he could either go the remaining distance by river or by land. If he goes by land, he could either go on the roads or through the forests. I suppose we could divide ourselves and cover all three possibilities.
Good man. You and Arthur shall hire a vessel upon our arrival and take the water. Jack, you and Mr. Morris shall acquire horses and take the road. Madam Mina and I will travel through the forests. We are in God's hands now, and only He knows what comes of this. We must put our trust in Him. Come, my friends, to Transylvania. Here, let us rest. We have traveled long and far.
No, Doctor. Thank you, but we must keep going.
But Madam Mina, I have hypnotized you could be 5 times in these last several days. Surely your mind needs rest, if not your body. Come, we can rest here, if only for a moment.
All right, Doctor, but only for a little while.
Yes, yes, until I am satisfied that you have allowed your mind to rest.
Doctor, since you want my mind to rest, I must tell you, there is something that has been plaguing it.
And pray, what is that, my dear?
What will happen to me if Count Dracula dies? If he and I are one, does that mean that I will perish as well? And even if I don't, will I still become a creature like him, as he said I would?
I pray not, my child. I have every hope and every reason to believe that his curse upon you will be ended with his death.
But if it is not?
Be at peace, my dear. Our bargain still holds.
As I have said so many times before, thank you, Doctor. Doctor?
Be still. My God, I was afraid this would happen.
Sister. Do not fear, Doctor.
It is for you that I fear.
Why would you fear for me? None are safer in all the world from them than I.
Come to us. Come.
You see, Doctor? They could not harm me.
My dear, what if they had? It is dawn. We must keep our routine of sleeping in the day and moving at night.
Yes, Doctor.
You're sure this is the way, Jonathan?
Yes, I'm sure.
When those horses got spooked and wouldn't go any further, I thought we were done for.
We were as lost as we could be when we got off the river. It's a miracle you found us at all.
Look, the sun is beginning to set, chaps. Make haste.
Look! Mina! I'm here.
Jonathan, I was worried he wouldn't find us.
Come, my friends. It is nearly nightfall. I can see the castle in the distance. Jonathan, where can we find the Count at this hour?
Once I followed him out of curiosity, and he descended deep beneath the ground into his chapel. I believe we shall find him resting there.
So be it. Come, my friends, let us hurry to this chapel.
This place smells viler than Carfax.
My brave and loyal friends, it is time we finish the work that we began. But I have another task for my friend Jack and Mr. Art.
Oh, what is it, Doctor?
Find those weird sisters the Count keeps prisoner here. Release them as we did sweet Miss Lucy. They have had to suffer much longer than our dear girl, for centuries, perhaps. We must save them as we did our own. You both know what must be done for them.
That we do. Come, Art. I'm sure each of those creatures was some man's Lucy once.
We will do it with honor, Dr. Van Helsing.
Good man. You do Miss Lucy proud.
Thank you, Doctor.
Godspeed, Abraham.
Help me, Jonathan.
There he lies.
The king of the vampires lying there like a waxen image. To our work. Let us finish this. Back to hell with you.
It is finished.
It is for me, Mrs. Harker.
My God.
But you were someone worth saving.
Thank you, my friend.
My valiant young man. Some rise by sin, some by virtue fall.
Shakespeare. Measure for measure.
That's right, my boy.
"7 years ago, we all went through the flames, and the happiness of some of us since then is, we think, well worth the pain that we endured. It is an added joy to Mina and myself that our little boy's birthday is on the same day in which Quincy Morris died. I know that Mina holds to some secret belief that some of our brave friend's spirit, the one who saved mine own life, will be passed on to our son. We've named him Quincy. At the time being, it was almost impossible to believe that the things we had seen with our own eyes were living truths. That summer, we got to talking of old times, which we can now look back on without despair, for Arthur and Jack Seward are now both happily married. When I gathered up for all of our records that Mina had made, I said, we could hardly ask anyone, if we did wish to accept these as proofs of so wild a story. Van Helsing summed it all up.
We want no proofs. We ask none to believe us. Your son will one day learn what a brave and gallant woman his mother was for himself. And later on, he will know how some men so loved her that they did dare so much for her sake, and for the sake of all who live in peace and love.